Good morning. This is Shri here with the Week 14 preview of the NFL season. And we're going to do a little bit different this week based on some of the feedback that I got from some of my favorite listeners. And I'm going to kind of focus on uh, some key matchups that have playoff implications. We'll spend a little bit less time on the other games, but we'll focus heavily on some of the key matchups. Obviously, we have uh, uh, Dallas and Eagles, and then we have Buffalo and Kansas City. We got um, Jacksonville at Browns, and then we also have um, LA Rams versus the Ravens. So that's I'll be focusing on Buffalo, Kansas City, then then Dallas and Eagles, Rams and Ravens, and we'll do one more, which is um, I would say Tampa at Atlanta. The only reason being uh, that has like division playoff implications. So let's start with Tampa at the Atlanta Falcons. Atlanta Falcons are favored by 2.5. Um, and what's interesting here is that the Falcons um, have are much closer to winning the division than Tampa Bay. On the road for Tampa, Baker Mayfield is playing pretty decently. And then Mike Evans, and what can you say about Mike Evans? He's been one of the rock stars of that team. He's the bedrock of that team. And it doesn't matter who the quarterback is. He gets his 1,000 yards every year. Big weapon for any quarterback to have. The Atlanta Falcons, with Desmond Ridder back in the lineup, very good defense that they have, and Bijan Robinson has had a good year this year. So I have a feeling that Tampa going to Atlanta, I think, like I said, they're a 2.5 underdog. I have a feeling that while Atlanta may win the game, um, Tampa would Tampa would cover that. Um, so that's the first game that we have. The second game that we wanted to focus on was the LA Rams versus the Ravens. Rams are actually in the playoff hunt, believe it or not. And they're going all the way to Baltimore. Baltimore right now, top of the division. Um, and Lamar is playing as good as he was doing, and with OBJ in Lamar in Ravens, the Ravens definitely are clicking on all cylinders. Their defense is one of the best. They're very difficult to beat at home. Weather could be a big factor in Baltimore with a storm coming down the East Coast. The Rams are traveling all the way from the West Coast. Um, and the line is very interesting because the Baltimore Ravens are favored by 7.5. I have a feeling that they will cover that. I mean, the Rams are playing well. Stafford is playing well. They have all the weapons when it comes to like Cooper Cup and Puka. So they will have their work cut out. I mean, they play on the West Coast where the weather is nice, but I do think that coming down to the East Coast, the weather is going to be a big challenge for them. And the Baltimore Ravens will not only cover, they not only win, but they'll also cover that 7.5 spread. And then there's the Buffalo at Kansas City. Kansas City is only favored by one. Typically, in these instances, the home team usually gets a 3 point. That usually means that the game could go either way. Um, both teams have been a little bit of, I would call it disappointment, at least from previous years. Uh, Buffalo is still fighting for a playoff spot. Kansas City, while they're winning the division, are coming off uh, a loss as well. And this is Buffalo's a chance to win. And the other interesting thing here is that this is the first time a Josh Allen Patrick Mahomes matchup has had a total of like in the 40s, like the total points predicted in Vegas. So, but I think it's very interesting. One of the big things that the Bills always do come very well with a bye. They're 6-0 after a bye. Let's see if if the Bills can go on the road and win against Kansas City. I definitely think they can. So not only cover but also win the game. The Kansas City's offense is not clicking on all cylinders. Plus, with a lot of the receivers dropping balls, especially the one in against the Eagles. Scantling dropped an easy touchdown that would have won the game for Kansas City. But Kansas City's offense is struggling a little bit. Their defense is very good. But one of the things that I see is that Patrick Mahomes usually finds a way. But I do think that Josh Allen, always plays well in Kansas City. And Stephon Diggs is going to have a huge game, and I'm hoping that Bills prevail in that matchup. Then we go to the last one, which is Cowboys hosting the Eagles. What's very interesting here is that the Eagles, had a great win against Kansas City, but they fell last week. So when I look at that, and the Cowboys are actually clicking on all cylinders, they've won a lot of games against easy opponents. So this is probably one of the brutal stretches they have. The Eagles are actually a 3.5 point underdog. Very hard to say for a team that's leading the NFC division. But I do feel that the Eagles will have a good game, and I'm actually calling for an upset with the Eagles going on the road, beating the Cowboys. The Eagles defense will come up strong. I mean, they got embarrassed against 49ers last week at home. So I definitely see a bounce back for the Eagles. I still don't, while I respect Cowboys as a team, I still don't think they are up for one of the top echelon teams. So I have a feeling that Cowboys will probably fall to the Eagles on Sunday night football. I think those are the only four key matchups. The others, which have good playoff implications, the Green Bay is rising right now. They should probably pick up a win against New York. The Dolphins are continuing to rock. They are 13-point favorite. There are two Monday nights actually this week, and they should easily roll against the Titans. And then we have the Broncos Chargers. I have a feeling that the Broncos will win that easily. A division matchup. They lost a tough one last week, but they should win that one. And then we have 49ers, who are almost a 13.5 favorite over Seahawks. I don't know if they'll cover it, but I'm pretty sure that they will win the game. And then we got Minnesota at Vegas, and I have a feeling that Vegas will win that one. And then Houston at Jets. I think Houston coming on the road in rain. I have a feeling that they should win. C.J. Stroud is having a great this one, and the Saints should prevail over the Panthers, and the Browns will beat the Jacksonville Jaguars without Trevor Lawrence. And we'll get to Trevor Lawrence at another time. And then we got the Colts winning at the Bengals. The Colts are definitely making a big push for the playoff hunt. And the Detroit Lions should win. They lost a tough one to the Packers at home in Thanksgiving, but I see them resurging right now against the Bears. So with that, we wrap up the Week 14. Quite unusual from previous weeks. So let's see if these predictions come true, at least for the 4 marquee games. And looking forward to the big playoff push as we get to Week 15. And one thing I did want to cover is that the Patriots, despite winning against the Steelers on the road, still are in the number 2 spot for the draft pick because the Arizona Cardinals are off this week. So let's see what happens next week. And with that, we wrap it up. Thank you so much for listening.